Does God keep silent when his people sin? This is a question that many people have been asking in their lives. Let's take a story in the book of Genesis, chapter 4. We have got two brothers, Cain and Abel, where Cain murders his brother Abel. But God still goes ahead to speak to him. Why did he have to speak to him even after the murder? Sin does not silence God. It creates a static place in us that makes us not to hear from him. But that does not mean that he is silent. He keeps speaking to us to bring us back. There are some 4 key things that we need to learn from this story of Cain. 1. God speaks even in the worst moments. Cain murders Abel, and if anyone desired silence from God, then it was him. But God responds by asking him some 2 questions. He asks him a question in Genesis chapter 4 verses 6. Why are you angry? Then in the same Genesis chapter 4 verses 9, he asks him the second question. Where is your brother? And Cain answers this question rudely, that am I my brother's keeper? But still that does not stop God from talking to him. His voice came to warn Cain. His voice came to call him back and not to crush him. Every time we commit sin, God never goes silent on us. He speaks to us. He comes to us to warn us and to call us back to him and not to crush us. Number 2, silence isn't God's default response to sin. If God only spoke to sinless people, or if God could only speak to people without sin, then there is no one in the world who could hear him. Most of the mighty men of God, whom God used as recorded in the Bible, had their own sin, but God still spoke to them. Look at this pattern. We have got King David. Even after adultery, God never stopped using him. God never stopped speaking to him. Apostle Peter, also even after denying Jesus Christ, God still used him. God still spoke to him. And even the prodigal son, before an apology, God spoke to him. And that is why he came back home. So we need to understand that restoration requires communication. His voice is here to correct us. His voice is here to guide us. And his voice is here to rescue us from whatever pit that we have found ourselves in. Thirdly, we need to know that the real barrier is our hardened hearts. Sin creates distance between us and God. But regardless of the distance, God keeps speaking. In the book of Hebrews chapter 3 verses 7 to 9, the Bible says, today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your hearts. Today, if you hear the voice of God, don't harden your heart. It is the hardening of the heart that brings a barrier between us and God. We know that shame and guilt in us creates static, especially once after we have sinned. But the transmitter, who is God, never stops broadcasting. He still broadcasts. It is us to tune into his transmission so that we can be able to hear what he has to tell us. So, in such a case, what do we do? The first thing is to come honest to him. Answer him just like Cain answered him. Open up, be honest. Number 2, listen to his correction. Correction is mercy. And finally, expect him to speak to you. He is not waiting for you to get clean first before he speaks to you. He will speak to you even in that your dirty situation, in that your sin situation. So, if God spoke to Cain after murder, he is speaking to you now. He is speaking to me now, saying, come back, I can fix this. He hasn't gone silent. Are you listening?